Hi, friends. This is Malika Chopra, and I want to welcome you to our Instagram Live this afternoon. My father, Deepak Chopra, is going to be joining me soon, and we will be discussing what's going on in India with the COVID-19 pandemic and crisis. And I am just inviting him on. So, we want to welcome our Chopra community worldwide. This is a special conversation between my father, Deepak Chopra, and I. We have a community around the world that's connected to India, as our work is grounded in the wisdom traditions of India. So we thought it's very important for us as a family, as a Chopra community, to share our experience, and then also how we are trying to help and how we invite you to join us as well. So my father, Deepak, is here. And Papa, that's what I call my father. But I thought we could just talk first about how our family and friends are impacted by this. I think almost every Indian I know, no matter where they're living in the world right now, is in touch with family and friends who have been impacted by COVID. My in-laws in India for the last 3 weeks have been sick, fortunately are in a stable situation, and we have many other family and friends. So Papa, do you want to share a little bit about what you know is happening on the ground?
Yeah, it's devastating. Actually, some of the people have been seeing on television. It looks like a crematorium. The whole city looks like a crematorium. Bodies are being burnt, and even the crematoriums are overloaded. The hospitals are overloaded. There's no oxygen. There's no equipment. People are dying. We have lost some relatives too. And we have been in touch on a daily basis with the doctors who are providing 24/7 acute care on the front lines. Unfortunately, one of the main doctors, Dr. K.K. Agarwal, who runs the Heart Care Foundation, was overwhelmed and is right now in the ICU. We have been supporting the Heart Care Foundation, as you know, Malika, for the last 35 years. It was founded by your grandfather, my daddy. Ma, your grandmother, was the patron founder. Now, by the way, for the Chopra Foundation, Rita Chopra is the patron founder and the patron saint, because she's the inspiration and the matriarch behind everything we do. But right now, this is a very critical moment. The Heart Care Foundation is doing everything. We raised about $25,000 through GoFundMe, and now we are raising more money through GoFundMe. The Chopra Foundation is doing that through GoFundMe. But we want to direct more funds now to COVID care centers, to the direct cash transfer, Give India, through food relief, goanch, all through Indiaspora. You're a member of Indiaspora, and they're an amazing organization, and they also make sure that the funds are spent correctly. But at this moment, the tragedy is so huge. Our heart is crying out that we have to fight for air, that, this air that we breathe, we are having to fight for this. And in the way we are fighting for air is not the way you can fight for territory or water or earth. You can lay claims on a nation state can say, this is my land, or somebody can say, this is my house, or this is my river, this is my reservation. You can lay claims on water and earth. But the air is one breath, one breath. Those people who are suffocating in India, that air and the virus has no boundaries. So on even a very practical level right now, if people suffocate in India, the rest of the world is going to suffocate. Period.
And I want to point out that in the comments, people are saying we're losing air in Colombia and Venezuela and Brazil. And absolutely, this pandemic is affecting us worldwide, which is why we all have to do things to support one another. And also ourselves. I just want to share that everyone in our family has got vaccinated. That's a very important step. What else, Papa, do you recommend that people can do? One, of course, we appreciate the donations through the Chopra Foundation and are working very closely with organizations to make sure that they have real impact. But what else should people be doing right now?
Well, it's becoming very clear that the people who are getting very sick acutely are in two categories. One is older people who have chronic illness like diabetes, hypertension, metabolic syndrome, obesity, asthma, etc. They are more prone to the infection and to morbidity and mortality. And everybody who's getting infected also has either low-grade or high-grade inflammation. You can see it through their inflammatory markers. The younger people who are getting infected, it's very strange now what we're discovering. One of the things we're discovering is that they're getting acute inflammatory storms. So inflammation is normally a protective response to injury, but the younger people and older people are also getting inflammatory storms, and we're learning a lot what that's doing. So that's causing damage at the level of micro vessels. And if somebody has a weak heart, they get a heart attack. If somebody has brain disorder, then they get brain inflammation. If they have kidney problems, they get kidney disease. Bottom line, if it's not controlled, it causes what we call total body organ failure. And that's how people die. The organs shut up. So the new research that is coming out says that if we practice techniques like any technique that increases vagal tone, counteracts sympathetic overdrive, which is the overactive sympathetic nervous system, that will ameliorate or mitigate or decrease the likelihood of getting sick. As you know, I've been practicing yoga now every day, meditation, we all do that. But in addition to meditation, deep breathing, learning a little bit of pranayama, even chanting, vocalization, anything that stimulates the vagus nerve. And there's now evidence that Indians in particular and brown-skinned people or dark-skinned people also have vitamin D deficiency. And unless you correct that, it increases the risk. So increasing vagal tone through breathing, yoga, exercise, meditation, mindful awareness, chanting, even singing. It's very interesting that all the rituals we do in Ayurveda, they affect vagal tone and improve or decrease inflammation. There's also studies that show that these techniques, what I'm talking about, they increase the activity of the genes that cause self-regulation and healing or homeostasis. This is some of the research we've done at the Chopra Foundation, but many other people are replicating it. So I would ask people to take deep rest, make sure they sleep well, figure out how you manage stress. You can manage stress through all the techniques we offer at Chopra Global and elsewhere, but you can also manage stress through looking at humorous videos, laughing, through massage, through imagination, through visualization, through singing, through poetry, through storytelling, through entertainment. You can do so many things, but main thing is to manage stress. The third thing we could do is emotional resilience. This is the time to recognize that empathy, which means feeling what the other feels, compassion, the desire to alleviate suffering, and then love in action, not just love and say, I love you, love in action, because love without action, as you know, is meaningless, and action without love is irrelevant. But when you do practice love in action, the whole world wants to help you. So this is what we want to do right now. We want to help, but we want the whole world to help as well. That is why this initiative that you helped actually create through Indiaspora, and the fact that Heart Care Foundation was able to initiate this, but now we need to scale it in a big way globally. And for us, it's our duty. India gave us everything, who we are. And India's culture is influencing the whole world. India is suffering, and we are suffering, and the world is suffering. And as we said, there's one breath, there's one life. We can't divide the air. We cannot, say, okay, this is my air and this is not your air. It's not possible, nor can we prevent the virus from moving through the air across boundaries. It's invisible. Everything is invisible, and right now we are dealing with what you might call a predator that's invisible because, frankly speaking, we've polluted the air, we've muddied the waters, and we destroyed the earth. So those are long-term situations. We don't have to talk about them. When your house is burning, the Buddha said you don't try to figure out who lit the match, who bought the match, where was the match manufactured. You have to put the fire out. And right now, that's what you need to do. We desperately need everyone's help. And as you just said, the comments are showing Colombia, Brazil, everywhere. One air, one life, all sentient beings are involved right now. So with your help and with Chopra Global's reach also, and Chopra Foundation's dedication, both of us, Chopra Foundation, Chopra Global, and the rest of the world, and all these wonderful organizations like Indiaspora, we need to harness the collective love in action and the collective resources of the world so we can all breathe. We can all breathe.
Okay, so I want to again just thank everyone who's joined, invite you to visit the Chopra Foundation Instagram page, which will link to the GoFundMe campaign, as well as here on @Chopra. And once again, we are sending funds, 100% of the funds, to the Heart Care Foundation, which is an organization working on the ground in India, started by my grandfather. That was the first tranche, but the next tranche will be going to Indiaspora, who is making donations to the Wish Foundation for COVID care centers, Give India for financial support for families impacted by COVID, and Goanch and Jan Sahas, which are giving food relief and livelihood assistance for migrant workers and other vulnerable groups. And as our global community here shares what's going on in other parts of the world, we too will be looking to support organizations globally. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Malika. Thanks, everyone. God bless. Stay healthy. Take care of yourselves and help take care of the world. Thank you.
Thank you.